Dan kita terus ke bilik berita bersama editor eksekutif Razak Chik yang kini bersedia untuk mendapatkan pandangan pakar berkenaan dengan pesawat MH370. Razak?
Yes, Zul.
Okey, teruskan Razak.
Saya akan dapat berbual dengan Neil Hansford dari Australia, seorang pakar Strategic Aviation Solutions. Hello Neil, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Yes, Neil. It's late noon. It's almost noon here in Kuala Lumpur. It must be late afternoon where you are. I understand that the Australian authorities are taking a deep interest in what's going on here in Kuala Lumpur and the search effort for the missing flight 370. The fact that much is being said about the mystery passengers and the fact that they boarded with false passports, it suggests a certain level of security lapse. Now, what do you have? What is the latest? What do you have on this issue?
Well, I think what has been recognised is that Malaysia has not been following the suggested protocols whereby that every passenger list submitted by the airlines is run against a check of the 38 million passports that have been stolen, and where a passport that is stolen has been found, that passenger would not be able to travel. But in this case, it's clear that two passengers travelled on stolen passports, which breaches all of the guidelines from the International Civil Aviation Organisation.
During the many press conferences, the airport authorities have been given the endorsement that they have followed all security protocols as proposed by international bodies. Looking for, you mentioned an astounding figure of passports lost a moment ago. Is it possible to look for two passports? It's like looking for a needle in a haystack.
No, it's not. It's a very simple computer process, and any one of, I believe that even the computer at the Malaysian airport could run every passport number against that stolen list from Interpol, and this is what's run in the United States, in Australia, I believe Singapore, it's run in Europe. It's a standard procedure in 60% of the countries of the world.
There is a suggestion that there is a group of, there is a passport, a gang that's going around looking for lost passports. So, and what kind of security measures can be taken? Is there a concerted worldwide measure to look after this particular activity?
No, it's not. Basically, when somebody loses their passport and they report it to their country of origin, that goes into an international police database, which is available to every country to be able to use that to interrogate the lists of passengers submitted by the airlines. So I would have thought Malaysia, with its other strong standards, would have been adopting what Australia and a lot of the Asian neighbours adopt.
I still remember a certain time not too long ago when there was manual checking of faces against pictures on passports. At the moment, you do have a system where electronic visual recognition is used. That suggests an element where human intervention is taken out of the system. Is that a good system to recognize people who are trying to masquerade for somebody else?
No, but what happens is that the frontline border where you're being checked is basically looking at the chip within the passport, not the physical photo, because the physical photo can be tampered with, the chip can't be tampered with, and the person whose picture is on the chip must be the person who's looking at you at the immigration or at the check-in.
So once human intervention is taken away from the equation, doesn't this provide an opportunity for people who are determined to get through, to slip through the system? If they want to, they can, and they are able to, as demonstrated in this case.
No, the computer system combined with the physical recognition, basically it works very soundly in the countries that use it, but you find that you have a stolen passport long before the person arrives at the airport, when the airline provides the passenger list with the passport number. So it's not up to the check-in clerk, or even it's not up to the first line of immigration control. It's actually found by the computer and it's alerted, and hopefully the person is actually arrested before they try to travel.
Your company, Strategic Aviation Solutions, based in Australia, what kind of measures would you suggest airport authorities, what do they have, if they need to step up their security and beef up their security, what should they be doing now?
Well, the Malaysian government should be insisting that Malaysian airports actually run the passenger lists against the Interpol list, and your counter-border people are actually arresting people who try to travel on what is known to be a stolen passport.
Taking this a step further, Neil, would the authorities be looking into the possibility of the involvement of certain organizations? It's been mentioned that the Chinese Martyrs Brigade, people with any issues with the situation in Ukraine, and other groups with interest, with possible links into what can be done, should the emphasis now be looked into who could have a reason to want to be the cause for the missing flight?
The first concern is to try and find the aircraft and say to the relatives and to those of the crew and the passengers to bring them an end to a very terrible event in their life. That's got to be the first priority. The second priority is that the Malaysian government, through ASEAN, has got access to governments who are using this system, and they should be calling upon assistance from countries like Australia, in particular, who has very strong border computerised controls, to assist Malaysia to quickly come up to standard before people start avoiding Kuala Lumpur as a transit point in their journey.
Neil, thank you very much for your input. We hope and pray that the search will bear fruit pretty soon. Ya, Rizal, itulah perbualan saya dengan Neil Hansford dari Australia tentang perkara yang boleh dilakukan dari segi airport security yang perlu diambil, langkah-langkah yang perlu diambil oleh setiap authority di lapangan terbang yang di merata dunia.
Okey, terima kasih Cik Razak. Tapi Cik Razak, mungkin Cik Razak boleh tunggu di situ. Saya rasa saya nak menambah sedikit apa yang dikatakan oleh Neil tadi itu, iaitu 38 ke 40 juta pasport hilang setahun. Dan ini adalah jumlah yang besar, bukan setahun Maaf, 38 ke 40 juta pasport dilaporkan hilang di luar sana, dan ini adalah jumlah yang besar. Jadi saya rasa saya cuma nak menambah ayat tersebut ke dalam perbincangan yang diutarakan tadi Cik Razak.
Bila kita menyebut tentang kehilangan pasport, pasport di antara pasport yang amat berharga adalah pasport Malaysia. Kalau kita di mana-mana airport yang kita pergi, kadang-kadang ada juga insiden-insiden di mana pasport yang kita pegang itu menjadi intaian oleh beberapa sindiket-sindiket. Sebab saya sendiri dapat tahu tentang beberapa insiden di mana kalau kita alpa buat seketika pun, selalu kalau travellers yang selalu berada di airport, kalau mereka alpa buat seketika, besar kemungkinan pouch bag dan sebagainya yang di mana disimpan pasport dan barang-barang berharga akan ada sahaja sesiapa yang mempunyai niat jahat akan mengambilnya tanpa kita mengetahui. Jadi ini menyebabkan di airport sendiri banyak insiden di mana pasport passengers yang melaporkan kehilangan pasport. Jadi dengan pasport beberapa negara tertentu yang begitu berharga, dapat mana-mana negara yang mempunyai reputasi yang bagus dari segi keselamatan, imigresen dan sebagainya, dan pasport-pasport ini menjadi bahan di mana sindiket-sindiket yang mempunyai kepentingan dalam menjual pasport kepada sesiapa saja yang memerlukannya untuk apa-apa tujuan sekalipun, akan there is a ready market untuk pasport-pasport yang begini.